Oh, nice. That's really cool. It's pretty humbling, you know, that I get to be at the wall of a restaurant, and then, you know, my picture and my guys are there. To be able to bring a place that is so far away and in a moment that is so special in my life to a corner, so that people can see it when they walk in. It's kind of cool. I was raised in Rota Naval Station, a very small naval base in southern Spain. My dad is my hero. So my dad's name is Ignacio Villanueva. He's from the Basque Country in northern Spain. For him, it was never about sports. For him, it was never about popularity. It was always about doing honorable things, and no one else has to know them but yourself, and being able to give max effort on everything, especially academics. And so now that I've become older, now that I see how the world works, you know, now that I have my own family, I start understanding how valuable those lessons were, and how fortunate I am that I had a father like that. Growing up, I was very used to seeing Marines do their training, the Seabees, and then 9/11 happened.
I can hear you. The rest of the world hears you, and the people who knocked these buildings down will hear all of us soon.
I was 11 years old. Probably what was very significant was the days after, because for as long as I can remember, C-17s and C-5s started landing in Rota almost, you know, every hour on the hour, with Marines and Army personnel that were getting ready to deploy to Afghanistan. And so many people sacrificed so much and were, you know, so far away from their homes to defend and support something that you can't touch, that you can't really see, but we all believe in, and that is our country, and that is our ideals and our values. And so, you know, maybe I didn't put it all together when I was 11 years old, but I definitely saw the right direction in terms of what I want to do with my life. And so I wanted to be in one of those C-17s. To me, there was no other option other than serving, and it was just a matter of where and how.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you to the United States Military Academy at West Point.
The West Point years were pretty interesting. You know, for the first time, you know, you can say that you're a contributor to something that has had a tremendous legacy throughout history. Ultimately, I thought it was the greatest and best decision that I made. When I first showed up as a 21-year-old second lieutenant, I wanted to go to 10th Mountain Division because I knew that they were the unit that would deploy the most, and there was a pretty much 100% chance that I would deploy to Afghanistan.
American commanders are now focusing on where they believe the most difficult fight in the country will come, and that's Kandahar.
I was extremely humbled by how little I knew about, you know, being a platoon leader, being a soldier, and how much the soldiers that I served with helped me. It's pretty humbling because, you know, you're just a 21-year-old kid. There's a little bit of hesitation in telling one of your squads to move forward and go towards the guns. And it's pretty impressive just how selfless, brave, and dedicated, you know, the non-commissioned officers are in a unit like 10th Mountain, to where an NCO like Sergeant Carmen would take his men and assault the enemy without thinking twice, without blinking. You know, I always had this deep appreciation for his professionalism. I admire more and more just how much he sacrificed and how much he did so that I would come back home alive. I know there's a couple instances where, you know, if he had made a decision that, you know, was completely over my head, I would have been bagged in a body bag.
Villanueva led a platoon in Afghanistan, where in 3 tours he earned numerous commendations, including a Bronze Star for Valor.
I've never seen the medal. You know, if you ask, I don't even know what the medal is. But the reality behind it is everybody in my platoon showed actions that are heroic, and however you want to define them. I think the term heroic loses its meaning when you're always continuously endangering your life for protecting, other members of your platoon. So I always look at it as a way of honoring the soldiers that I served with and how brave they were, and I was just one of them. In that picture, you can see Sergeant Simon, Sergeant Carmen, and Sergeant Dutton. They were the squad leaders for 1st Platoon Alpha Company. They were the true heroes in my opinion. And when I look back, and a lot of people always, especially because I play football now, and everybody wants to maybe review my story, they always want to give me praise and they always give me the admiration. But it's somewhat embarrassing because my admiration goes to those guys. So that was the last uniform that I wore in my last mission in Chucky Wardak, 2014. The mission was to kill, capture Taliban in a district in Wardak province. The one thing about my service that maybe I'll regret is that not fully embracing all the challenges of serving and being tempted to not finish the mission. A lot of times when I see generals and colonels retire, I always wonder what could have been, of my career if I'd have stayed. And at the end of the day, and I already know, what's on the other side of the fence. If I decide to strap the boots on and put on a uniform. And so, for me, it's something that I know that every single person that I served is going to think about the options of joining back in the service, and if they've taken us, we're definitely going. When I look at the walls of Mission Barbecue, I see real stories of real servicemen and women. And I think it paints the perfect picture of who is it that serves in the military. And a lot of times maybe we get a little bit too focused on the movies, the special operations, even the actors that portray, characters. But in reality, that's not really who's doing it on the ground. It's usually regular Americans that are willing to do the task of sacrificing themselves for others.